Flight boss, bitch. For sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry Smith. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I want to talk about influences that you can utilize with your life path number as far as numerology. So right now, we all have a numerology number based upon the date that we was born. Now, based upon this motherfucking calendar that we're utilizing, we're going off someone else's system, but based upon the system going on for so long, it carries energy influence behind it. So if you don't want to get washed away up under the current and get outweighed by all the themes and the influences that they're participating in, then for the most part, this is another reason why it's good to know your numerology life path number, because you also know what you may have to endure just presenting yourself in society within their magic square, because they already got their themes and things set up. So just based upon you being who you are and knowing your numerology number and looking at it from that aspect, you also know what you're going to endure and how you could kind of rise above the occasion and not get washed up under the current, also based upon what you're already naturally riding as a frequency vibration, just being born in their magic square on that specific date for you to calculate your astrology and your numerology number. So for the most part, once we start to talk about the numbers, right now, 1 through 9, like I said, so you can only be 1 through 9, but numbers have compound numbers, aka this is where we start to talk about gematria and numerology, where we give numbers and add value to it, and then for the most part, the value that we add still has a root number to it. So here's where we start to get into multiplication and things of that nature, or duplication, or doubling. So once you start to get into 1 through 9, regardless of your life path number, these are numbers that you're going to be able to utilize as far as the offsprings or the compound. For an example, what would be a compound number to 4? What adds to 4? 3 and 1. So for the most part, when you put these things together, 13 and 31 is power numbers that a life path numerology person, a number 4 person, can utilize. So for the most part, those two numbers play out into all creation that we see within this realm of reality and the goals that we try to manifest. So you chanting certain things 13 times, or you having or you wearing the number 31, or you creating spells and rituals and stuff like that, and you stamp it with the number 31, and then especially if you're into astrology and things of that nature, you know where to put these numbers at based upon what energies that you're trying to harness. So if you know the sun is in Cancer, based upon you creating a monad or whatever like that, you will place 31 probably on where the sun is in Leo. You will probably place 31 on the sun position, and you will probably place 13 on the moon position and things of that nature. Now you have a mini pillar on whatever sheet or whatever astrological carpet you have, or whatever that you try to correlate as far as your altar or your motherfucking magic table. So it's always good to keep a magic table also, you know what I'm saying, where you can put your altar on and you're not putting things on that table that's just extracurricular shit, like as far as your everyday type shit. This table is only for that type of shit. So for the most part, that's what it means by that. But yeah, I'm just giving you ideas on how you could kind of utilize these numbers. And once you start to participate into your ritual and spell and then act out in the world in that frequency vibration, so you can get led into the people, places, and things and circumstances and situations that kind of look like your dream or not, or your goal or your manifestation, and you going through the rejection and the successful moments within that, so you could develop wisdom on that astral travel. For the most part, these situations are allowed to come into your life a lot faster when you utilize compound numbers. Because here's the thing, you're going to experience this anyway, but if you into wizardry, if you're a witch or wizard, if you watch my channel, for the most part, you can speed up the process of attracting your numerology life path number into your life. And if you are a person that's trying to gain comfortability in your life and prosperity, then for the most part, this is going to be something that you're into, so you can know when you're getting ready to experience negative trial and tribulation, and know how to deal with it and not let it outweigh you to the point that you start developing thoughts and feelings on what you just experienced, and you're into it so harshly, and to the point that that's all you continuously manifest. So you need to know that that's what's actually going on also. So when you think about utilizing compound numbers, right, it brings things that developed down here became dense and became compound. So for the most part, you're utilizing things from down here as far as people, places, and things, circumstances and situations and material, and you're utilizing these substances to bring in circumstances and situations in your life a lot faster that represent your number. As far as the art of deduction, the single number, aka 13 or 31, is 4. So if you're a numerology, if you are a life path 4 person, then for the most part, when you use 31 or when you use 13 and things of that nature, you're able to bring a lot of that kind of energy. And let's say if you play sports, if your jersey is the number 31 or 13, you will end up placing yourself into a circumstance or situation that's a lot better than other individuals on your team. But that's besides the fact and things of that nature. But here's the thing, right? When you manifest these situations in your life, that's not to say that these situations are going to be positive, because we endure shit every day. So we all got life path numbers. So you're going to experience that regardless. And everything has a yin and yang. So when you speed up the process, being into witchcraft or wizards or spells or whatever like that, and things that which this is what we're all doing on a small or large scale. So you need to keep that in mind also. But here's the thing, right? You need to know that when you're attracting these situations a lot faster in your life, that doesn't mean that you're attracting a positive. You're just attracting your number a lot faster in your life. And these could be negative or positive. But if you are a person who are spiritually inclined, then you know how to deal with these circumstances and modify your situation for it to be more positive. For an example, it's so often we got associates and best friends and things of that nature, or family members, or anything in our lives that for the most part we know when our spirit need a break, and we know that when we need to do something else, but based upon how many experiences we went through with these people, what we need to do for these people and things of that nature, we disregard that spiritual energy and therefore get led into a circumstance or a situation where it becomes catastrophic. So keep that in mind also. So this is something that we all, if you know how to spiritually work yourself out, goddamn it, then you shouldn't be experiencing that much bad circumstances anyway, because you're not getting affected by everybody that surround you in some way, shape, or form, or you not allowing them to affect you to a large magnitude or to a large percentage level. So we're going to start off with life path number 1, people. So if you are a number 1 person, for the most part, here are power numbers that you can utilize within your rituals and spells to speed up the process of experiences that you need to experience based upon your life path, because life is about experience, but you have to become aware. So being aware, if you're not aware of something, you're not going to manifest or even participate in that circumstance or situation until you become aware. And it's all of our spiritual responsibilities to become aware of what we got going on in our lives and things of that nature, or what we don't know, in order to have some level of awareness or wisdom to take us into another astral travel. Otherwise, we'll be sheltered, dumb, deaf, blind, and sheep, and following and leading a pack of legions. Following a lead or a pack of legions in some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. So life path number 1, people, your power numbers that you can utilize is the number 10, 19, 82, 55. Now, these compound numbers that you utilize within your spells, or say you may wear the number, you may have certain things on your shirt, you might have that number of stars. You may have 55 stars on your shirt, or objects or squares or anything of that nature that you try to utilize throughout the day. Or you might just got something that's your ritual or spell, and you just utilize the number in itself. Here's the thing. When we start to talk about 1 and 0, 0 just adds more space to a circumstance. So that's like adding a sigil, harnessing spirits to give you more ideas and feelings on how you can direct your energy that you're already in. Now, like I said, you want to make sure that you're not on the negative side of being a number 1 person. That's a person that may be too selfish, too self-centered. They can't see nothing no other way. They're highly unrelatable. Now, if you're on the positive side of the number 1, if you're a number 1 person, if you're on the positive side of that energy, then this is an individual who could become selfless, who could give themselves and sacrifice themselves for others, or who could be utilized as an asset other than a liability, or a person that's just disgruntled in some way, shape, or form. So when you start to talk about number 10, right, as an individual, utilizing the number 10 is going to create circumstances in your life that put you out there more, put your personality out there more. So if you in the wizardry, you're a witch or wizard, then what you're putting out there is something that you're trying to manifest. So you already know how to spiritually correlate yourself. And if you're not into this shit or whatever like that, and you're back to supported by weak ass desires and things of that nature, then you want to be careful. You don't want to practice no magic or anything of that nature. You just want to just be your numerology, and probably don't even get into this. You probably a weak, scared, timid spirit, so get into religion or something like that. If you're scared, go to church. But other than that, here's the thing: when you start to talk about situations that you might be lost in as far as a desire, utilizing the magic of number 10, you being a number 1 person, is going to create scenarios in your life that force you to put yourself out there in some type of way. And if you're lost into trying to attract a relationship, and you ain't even really into just wanting to have wisdom and knowledge and meaning and reasoning, and not be persuaded or led astray or lost in any situation, you're backing your whole energy or your ritual or spell or your prayer or your harness or your affirmations. That's back to supported. Is back to supported by a desire. So a spirit could come in that person, place, or thing as that desire, and easily persuade you while still looking like something that you wanted in the first place. So this is where you're not understanding magic right. You're not understanding. Don't do this shit. Don't watch my video. Turn it off now. But if you're a person that's understanding, then for the most part, you are able to create a situation, and that's because you might be, say you're a person that never got attention or things of that nature. You started getting into witchcraft or wizardry, if you're a witch or wizard, male or female, right? And let's say you got some talent that you really sure about this talent, but you might got certain alignments, or as far as your natal chart, or you might grew up in a certain upbringing or a location where it doesn't support your dreams and things of that nature, or people heavily doubt you, so it don't manifest as fast. When you utilize the number 10, it manifests situations in your life where you're able to put yourself out there more, aka something happens where it's just a situation play out where you're in the right place, right time, around the right people, places, and things that leaves it for that to be expressed, and therefore you be in a situation that you are able to express what you always wanted to express. If you're into this and you're doing it the right way, and you actually have something to offer to be an asset other than a liability, aka wanting to be in a relationship or get a job or something like that. Don't use witchcraft for that kind of shit. Now 19, you know what I'm saying? This will be like adding your own. You will be placed in situations where you're forced to be separate from the experience. So you're gonna have to force to learn or be satisfied or be comfortable with being separate from situations. The 1 and a 9, that's 19, and that comes to 1 plus 9, that comes to 10. So it's adding that in a more devolved space, aka there may be something from this experience, number 9, that you have to be separated from as an individual, number 1, for you to develop wisdom and knowledge in some way, shape, or form, to actually know that you're not supposed to attach to something, right? And these are going to be the good things, because if you are really spiritually inclined, then you know that you're getting ready to experience a situation where you might be separating from people, places, and things that you don't need, and you need room to allow the universe to replace people, places, and things in your life that you do need. And that could become hard, or that could become easy, depending on how much you are attached to these individuals, or how much they are attached to you. You know what I'm saying? 82. Now, you can utilize 82 too. So for the most part, this would be taking time into your relationships. You know what I'm saying? Or you will manifest situations where you're forced to take time within your relationships. And this is one of the things that you actually have to learn, being a number 1 individual anyway within this lifetime. So, 82 is a good number to utilize, because you won't do nothing but speed up the process. 28 also. But 82 will do it faster. 28 will put you into a whole bunch of lostness amongst the people that you in a relationship with or trying to relate to as far as associates or mates. It'll get you lost into the shit that they putting time into. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, your relationships. 8, putting time into something. So, that's helpful, but sometimes for the sake of bad experiences at time where you gave too much of yourself. So 82 will manifest situations in the other way around. The stuff you put time in, you'll attract relationships or people that can relate to it in some way, shape, or form. Then you could kind of utilize the number as a duality once you modify the circumstance and situation within your magic square, your altar, aka then come flux it with 2882, but start it off with 82. And then 55. You know what I'm saying? So you could take whatever you're emotionally connected to and make it relatable in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it looking so disgruntled or opposite or opposing. Number 2. Now, if you are a number 2 individual, right? Power numbers that you can utilize is 11, one of that power numerology number. 24, you know what I'm saying? Because that utilizes 6, so that's 222, 222. 65, you know what I'm saying? And also 33. Now, with these, number 2 is very powerful, but you have to make sure you don't get lost into the demiurge, because it attracts a lot of those energies, because you find yourself being more more of a sacrificial lamb than others, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean that negatively. What I mean by saying that is a lot of times you're placed into a scenario where your family, friends, and associates and things of that nature, you're responsible for them in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're the breadwinner, whether you're the stronger one mentally, or whether you're the one that's causing everything and having to make everything calm, cool, and collected again based upon emotionally, because you're around individuals who may not know how to take that correlation within their life. So you're dealing with heavy, powerful energies that you attract, but based upon you understanding duality and being able to understand a full perspective of putting yourself in another person's shoes, you're always going to be on the asset side other than being a liability, especially utilizing these numbers. So you're always going to have something to offer when you even don't have nothing to offer. So utilizing the number 11 and 24 will put you into a situation where a person just like being around you, just like your energy and things of that nature, and you don't even know anything. And therefore you get paid in ways like that. You manifest in ways like that. The person that just wanted you around them, you might be frustrated that this person always wants you around them, but you might not say nothing based upon you being spiritually inclined and you practicing witchcraft and wizardry, utilizing the 11 and 24. You know what you're going through or something like that. It might be something where that person end up hitting the lottery. So boom, you glad you didn't give them no energy or nothing like that, like you ain't want to be around them, because just them liking you being around them, they might give you more of their lottery check than keeping it for themselves. Like, it gets deep. The world is magical. Your spirit work in mysterious ways. God work in mysterious ways. Now let's check this out, right? You also got 65 and 33. 65, you're able to pay attention to something and make it and make it a connection with it. So make sure whatever you're paying attention to is not no negative things, but that's what you're going to be attracting. Things that you can pay attention to and connect to. You could come around someone who's very talkative and find yourself paying attention to whatever they're talking about and finding a way to connect to it, where whatever you're connecting to, you might just be trying to show discernment, but that level of discernment you show slightly but shortly manifest that same scenario within your life. So you got to be careful not to don't take all the bullshit when you're utilizing this number as far as your witcher rolls and shit like that. 65. And then 33, you're able to take your surroundings and share it with someone else, you know what I'm saying, without it becoming frustrating in some way, shape, or form. So you will manifest those situations where you have to share something, and you might have to share space with your goals, and this person don't know anything about it. That little patience or something like that you go through to even teach them, or to realize that this person can't be involved in the first place, is all the esoteric substance you need. So you can either allow this person to be with you with your manifestings, or you can kick them to the curb. But once you just utilize that substance, that's 33, being the number 2 person, and manifest that scenario and went through it, and you knew this what you was doing, that's all you needed from the situation, that esoteric substance. Okay, and you can do what you want with that once that portal starts to manifest in your life. Number 3, 12, 21, 93, 714. And you can modify these also. So for the most part, now this is you. Now you being a number 3 individual, you're going to be more correlated to your surroundings and what's going on with world events, or what's going on with the events in your life based upon your surroundings and the people that you're familiar with in some way, shape, or form. So this is a person that likes to overanalyze or overthink about their surroundings, or want to fixate themselves, or yearn to feel comfortable within the surroundings. So that might get hard to do being a number 3 person. Your surroundings a lot of times frustrate you, and your surroundings is the environment, people, places, and things. And sometimes they can outweigh you a lot more than other signs. But once you get this correlated, other number people. But once you get this correlated, for the most part, you end up being the foundation for the surroundings. You end up being a helping hand for people that you're familiar with, aka you end up being an example of what the people in your environment need to do in order to rise above any kind of circumstance that we are in, which right now we're in the age of going through spirituality and centaur energy. But for the most part, you want to utilize number 12. So number 12 is going to draw that in also, because it's going to give you the aspect where you're able to utilize all 12 spectrums. So that means all modalities of the 4 elements and things of that nature, and the 4 triangles. So that puts you in the perspective where you're going to be highly understandable by everything in your surroundings and not let it outweigh you. So you're going to attract situations like that, where situations don't outweigh you or frustrate you that would normally did. 21. Put you in a situation where you can relate yourself to someone else, give yourself to someone else in some way, shape, or form, aka without it being the wrong individual. So you'll manifest that situation in your life also, where you have to give yourself to someone else, and that'll make your process speed up faster too, whatever you're trying to manifest. So when you give yourself to someone else, that energy substance itself puts you on a path where whatever you're trying to manifest come a lot faster also. And it probably don't even have anything to do with that individual. It's just the substance you end up carrying. You know what I'm saying? 93. And 714, 93 is developing wisdom or having enough wisdom and knowledge to apply to your surroundings and the people that you're familiar with. You're going to be in a situation where you automatically have that. Even if you're dumb, deaf, blind sheep in a week, you will manifest a person that's even more dumb, deaf, blind sheep in a week, and you giving them some sense of wisdom and knowledge because they're in your environment, will put you into a situation that you'll attract that, something that they didn't know that you knew. At 714, you know what I'm saying, that's you utilizing your own individual idea about this experiences that's we having, right? And being able to express that as an individual and giving and not afraid to give your thoughts about that. So you're gonna manifest those situations. So if you got other alignments that make you scared of that, then so if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. But if you're trying to manifest whatever that you're trying to manifest a lot faster, these are scenarios and substances that you're gonna experience anyway, even when you're procrastinating and just letting time go by and letting the universe bring your single number to you based upon events happening just in small percentage levels. So that'd be you living a life not experiencing as much as other individuals in totality. Number 4, right? It's going to be 22, 31, 13, and 111, 1111. Now, even though that equals to 3, you need to understand, right? From a perspective, this is one thing 3 times. So 1 is something on its own. And when you got 111 3 times, for the most part, that's 4. So esoterically, when we start to talk about gematria, numerology, and esoteric and mental mathematics, shout out to all my mental pilots out there, subconscious community, soul group. But like I said, this puts us into a situation where, you know what I'm saying, one thing 3 times. So this would be a number that you're able to utilize also, you know, setting your alarm at that time, 111 every day, 111 a.m. and 111 p.m. That'll give your spell more power also, and things of that nature on its own. Utilizing 22, relating your relatability to someone else, what they're relating to. So combining what you relate to someone else. And that becomes hard because that could get clash. But you will manifest those scenarios. 31, within your surroundings, selfish individuals. You will manifest that real quick. The better you know how to handle that. And don't go through the withdrawals, boom, and influxes and shit like that. You're able to take that substance and utilize what you're trying to manifest because that's what you need to go through anyway to manifest what you're going to manifest for your number. You're just speeding up the process, and you being spiritually inclined, you're willing to endure these situations, and you being willing to endure, you're creating Adams and Eves and shields to these situations to play more in your favor anyway. That's what it means to be a powerful spirit. You're in charge of what you're trying to create. You know what I'm saying? Instead of letting other people redirect your dreams and imaginations and shit like that. But you having the actual mental process of how to do these things. And 13, you utilizing your own individuality within your surroundings in some type of way. That situations and themes is going to be brought into your life for that to actually happen. Okay, now 5, you got 14, 23, 41, and 302, 302. So 14 is you're going to be manifesting and attracting situations a lot faster to manifest with your spell. But these situations that come a lot faster is going to deal with, once you use these numbers, it's going to deal with you having to put yourself out there as far as how other people think. So you may have to endure how other people think. This could be negative or positive, like I said. But if you are a spirit, you know how to. And I don't want to keep regurgitating. Y'all know how to get with the shit. If you're a real person that's into this shit. 23. You utilizing someone else within a surrounding. So not really using, but you rubbing shoulders, or you allowing someone else to be a part of what you got going on within your surroundings or your environment or something that you're familiar with at the moment. That might be manifested. So you might be in situations where you want to do something alone. Don't use the number 23 being a number 5 person. But if you're trying to manifest something faster, that little frustration that you go through of doing something that you really don't want to do, but manifesting that circumstance that you have to do anyway, will make your manifestations comes a lot faster. 41, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be you utilizing your thoughts about the surroundings and you giving that to someone else in some way, shape, or form, or manifesting you having to hear that from some well, now that'll be the number flipped around, 41. But for the most part, 4. For the most part, 41. That's you utilizing your own or someone else. Yeah, that'll be 14. But for the most part, you enduring your own individual thought or someone else's individual thought, and for the most part, having to have your own way of thinking about these things in some way, shape, or form. So that can become frustrating because we don't want to think about what other people are thinking about. But a lot of times, these are gifts and gems to let us know our own capabilities and incapabilities, so we can so that'll even help our mind state and whatever substance that we're adding to our rituals or spells. If you're a number 5 person. And 302, you're going to manifest situations where in your surroundings, events that may take extreme natures based upon someone else that you involve yourself with, negative or positive. All right, number 6, right? So number 6, there's going to be 30, 33, 42, 51, and 15 that you can utilize. 33 is going to create themes and manifest things in your life of your surroundings. Things in your surroundings is you might have to separate from your surrounding or involve yourself within a surrounding in an extreme way that outweighs you, aka being guilty by association or having to make yourself a part of something that you're not necessarily a part of, but rectifying the situation or organizing it will help your substance of whatever you got going on in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I could get into a lot of details how that play out. It's like you can help somebody, you can help an old lady across the street, or you might manifest a situation where someone else is in danger, and then you help them or help their cat out the tree or something like that, and then they end up giving you all of some goddamn money or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like little dumbass shit. But like I said, it's just you manifest the shit faster, and if you be in a spirit, you like, okay, I'm ready. 42, you utilizing your own individual thought about the surroundings and making it more relatable or having to make it more relatable. 51, you having to take your emotions and express it to an individual who may not understand it at first, or it can be negative or positive. And 15, you taking your own individuality and express and walking on water, aka playing on your own or someone else's emotional instability or whatever that they're stuck in some way, shape, or form, and you not allowing you to have too much discernment, the straight direct thought about it. 7, 34, 61, 25, and 16. So 34, this is your surroundings. You're going to be attracting different extracurricular shit in your surroundings that you're forced to develop new ideas about. It might be a person within your surroundings that start acting in ways that you never know how they act before, and you're left to analyze it before you react it. If you're lost into the shit, you're not into witchcraft and shit like that, you're going to react and react in a negative way. So don't use the number 34 if you ain't into this shit. 61, if you're a life path number 7 person, numerology wise. 61 is going to put you in a situation where a lot of attention is going to be focused on one individual. You know what I'm saying? So you might not even want to pay attention to a certain individual, but you will manifest that situation. 25, relating your emotions and feelings in some way, shape, or form, or having one of your relationships or your people that you relate to plan out as they're connecting or making yourself one with their emotions and feelings in some way, shape, or form. And then 16, there's going to be taking your surroundings and with your 16, taking your individuality and exalting yourself in some way, shape, or form. So you're going to have to force yourself to get attention or play out a situation where you're getting a lot of attention for whatever you're doing individually in some way, shape, or form. Number 7. 8, this, if you're a life path number 8, you know what I'm saying? 44, 62, 71, 35. So for the most part, 44, that's you taking your thoughts about the surroundings and trying to align it with someone else's thoughts about the surroundings. So that's you spending time with someone else trying to develop and work on one specific thing in some way, shape, or form. You're also going to attract the situations that deal with 60, if you're utilizing 62, whatever's getting a lot of attention, making that more relatable in some way, shape, or form. So you might manifest a lot of people that might look at something that's very negative, that behind closed doors, it might be something that you look at as very positive. You're going to be forcing yourself, you're going to manifest a situation where you're going to have to make that more relatable in some way, shape, or form. And then just that little circumstance, even if you were successful or not, that little substance is all you needed for your spells or rituals or whatever like that. Utilizing the number 71, taking your higher idea about what's going on down here and things of that nature that you may not express always. It's just your own higher voice, your own higher self, and things of that nature, or your God, or whoever you follow, and the messages that you cater to for those, that you agree with on those. And with 71, you're here to relate that to an individual in some way, shape, or form, or play that part, start to play that part, aka in other terms, you're going to manifest a situation in your life where you have to practice what you preach. or someone is going to point at what you always do and add their ideas and feelings to it in a negative way. So now it's in a negative light. And now that fucks up your spells and shit like that. And then 35, you within your surroundings, you know what I'm saying, taking your surroundings and connecting with it in some way, shape, or form. So emotionally. So if you see a tree, start to meditate around the tree, or you're going to attract a situation where you have to do that. Take your surroundings and emotionally connect with it. And then number 9, 36, 81, 72, and 54. 36, you're going to attract situations where in your surroundings there's something you're going to have to heavily pay attention to, or you're going to be paid attention to a lot in your surroundings. 81 for negative or positive. 81, whatever that you're spending time into, play that role, or whatever you're spending time into, relate that to another individual, or relate that in your life, or center that in some way, shape, or form. You're going to manifest these type of situations, like whatever that you're spending time in, you're going to be seen as that. So you want to make sure you don't play out in scenarios where they come up with things like you are what you eat, aka people start actually calling you these traits. 72, and that, eating just in general, that was just a metaphor for all facets of that energy I'm talking about. 72, you taking your higher ideals about this world that you are in, that you don't truly express, that you just talk to yourself about and things of that nature, and you finding a way to relate that to other individuals. That's what you're going to attract. And also, so if you're not ready for people to hear where you're coming from and why you do what you do, don't use 72 as being a number 9 person. And then 54, you taking your emotional state about something and trying to connect that with how you think about the surroundings, so it can make sense and not just you looking like you're in your own world. You're going to attract those type of situations also. So keep that in mind, and and once you wear these numbers or hum these things, the amount of time of these numbers or whatever like that, whatever your number is, or whatever, how you put these numbers on your spells, on the altar or whatever like that, for the most part, these are the circumstances that you're going to attract way faster in your life in order for your manifestations to develop much faster also. Flight boss, bitch, for sure. Listen to the mind of an Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Love y'all.